think that almost any successful person who has started from the bottom and made their way to the top, there is that grit, there is that hustle, there is that ability to just charge through the rain no matter what. And so I mean, I love documentaries about people that just started from nothing and made it. It's my absolute best favorite thing to read. So let me ask you a question. You've obviously had great success, but what would you say was one of your what was one of the failures that you learned the most from?
I think in the beginning of my career, great client, and I just like assumed that all clients were loyal, and I like showed them houses and they went around me, and it was like I think $150,000 commission if I made the sale, and they went and bought a house I showed them through someone else. And like when it was just like at the time it felt catastrophic. Like I remember, like I thought I was gonna like die. I remember telling my wife about it, and she's like, don't you read all those books that say like, oh, there's like a benefit in every like downfall, like this is one of those moments. And it felt even bigger because I was in tons of debt. And that was just one thing in terms of a failure that was like a really valuable lesson, was I learned how to be just kind of how the business functions in terms of, I honestly, obviously you have some incredibly loyal, amazing clients, but it is a business where a lot of the times people want to get what they want for their family and they don't care who they're running over. And it was just being like hyper aware and taught me like vigilance and not to fully trust clients at a certain capacity, depending on who they were. So I think that was a huge failure that ended up just making me ultimately like stronger in the business and smarter at the end of it. And that's actually helped me to train agents now, which is awesome, because that happens to agents all the time. I see agents where like someone screws them over, and I now am at a different place where I can help them and coach them through it. And at that time I have always had amazing mentors, but I didn't have like another agent there telling me like, you're like, this is just part of the game.
Yeah, and I think that it's so critical for, and you said it earlier. You said they don't work for me, they work with me, and the agents on your team. And I think that's one thing. I have an all-female team here in Atlanta, and that's one thing is I don't look at anybody on my team working for me. We're all working together. And I think that having someone like you leading them, where you've been through it and you're going through the highs and the lows with them, that makes your team so much stronger, and it makes the camaraderie within the team and the culture very difficult to leave and very difficult to duplicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like what is the favorite house you ever sold? Like like if you look back on all the houses that you sold and you're like, oh yeah, this one was it. Like,
I mean, I've sold some homes, like really notable, beautiful architectural homes multiple times. Like there's one that was like from a famous mid-century architect that I think I've sold 4 times. So I have ones like that are gems that I love. I mean, one house I sold in Beverly Hills for 57 million was a really huge, amazing like milestone in my career, and that's one of my favorite sales. I mean, and I was like kind of against all odds. Like all the people I was competing with to get the listing were had done larger sales than me. Had sold the neighboring house. The person was like, they were like, why would we hire you over these other people? I had obviously had enough success to get in the room with them, but I had never sold something at that level. And I just was straight up honest. I was like, I don't come for money. I was a dog walker. I work 7 days a week. I know the ins and outs of this market obsessively, and I won't sleep until this sells. And I will expose this property in a very different way, internationally, nationally, through our other markets. And we ended up getting it and selling it, I think within a 90-day period for 57. And that broke a new barrier in my career for me, which was awesome.
you know, you've used the word obsessively several times. And I think maybe it's your secret sauce. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sober for 17 years. I have an obsessive mind. I do think if you have that type of mind and you're able to channel it towards things you want, it's almost like a secret superpower in a
Yeah.
way where when I was younger, I used to look at it as something I resented because it caused a lot of pain or discomfort or like negative obsession, and it could go the wrong way. But I, over time, as like doing the things we discussed, I've learned how to channel it. And like I said, it really can be like a superpower to get you whatever you want.
And your clients see that. They see that superpower in you, and to other people who are uber successful, other people that are uber obsessive about getting what they want, they see that within you, and it almost it you're like a magnet for them. Like they want to work with you so bad because they see how they work, they see their hustle in you, and I think you attract what you project.
I agree. And one thing, a few things I like tell agents is what I did in the beginning because I was obsessed was I learned the data even when I had no business, no experience, no clients. So much, like I knew every street in Beverly Hills, like who bought on each street. I could meet someone, they'd be like, I live on Tower Road. I could tell them every house that sold, who owned what. So like I was an expert, and this was like subconscious, where I felt that I deserved business because I was an expert. And I knew that like I was going to out hustle a lot of people, and I was obsessed. And that's something I try to tell new agents all the time, that you should obsessively learn the data and know the information in your market, because you don't even realize that subconsciously it gives you the confidence that you deserve business. And I see people get some success and then they do a few deals, then it falls off. And I think they don't even realize that they look at the competition as better than them, or they don't think they deserve it if they don't really learn their market and learn the data. And it's such a simple thing in sales. I think that's for any sales, by the way, but it's just such something I was so fortunate that I just did, and it made me a better salesperson.
You know, you are 1000% correct, because nothing accelerates credibility faster than proof. And when you can rattle off who bought 123 Banana Street and what color the shutters are at 127 Banana Street, then all of a sudden, whether you've sold either of those houses or not, the person that you're speaking with knows that you are the neighborhood expert, that you're the expert in that area. And I talk to agents. I was on a webinar earlier today, and I was talking to agents. Look, you're new. You don't have anything to do. You don't have any business. You should be looking at every single house. You should be looking up every single owner. You should be looking up every single attribute. So when you're at a PTA meeting, or if you're at the country club, or you're out to dinner at a cocktail party or a neighborhood party, that you can speak intelligently about real estate, because then people will start paying attention to you.
Yeah. And I also tell agents as well, like people are going to buy and sell homes anyway, and they want to do it with someone mostly that they like, not all the time, but they, it's more enjoyable if they like you. And then second, like someone who they think is like a killer with their asset and going to direct them in the right way. And especially in competitive markets, that they feel has the ability to get it for them, because sometimes there's multiple offers on things, or it's really hard to find off market properties, or there's a supply issue. So learning the data again is just so valuable.
It is, and there's no substitute for knowledge. Like that is something that when you walk in and you can tell, what they paid for it, why they bought it, why they sold it, how they financed it, if they financed it, what they're doing with it, all those renovations. That is so critical to your success, and I love that. I love that.